ba, 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 ba. Hey, so here I am. I'm going live. I'm live on Dreamy Dreamland, and I'm recording on Alibaba, and just seeing what's up. What's up? So I'm gonna have a live show on Dreamy Dreamland tonight. April, whatever this is, 10th, 9th. It's Tuesday, whatever it is, and I guess it's the 8th, maybe 8th, 9th. Anyway, but tonight, 7:30 p.m. on Dreamy Dreamland, right? And let's try and do a live chat. See if anyone's out there. Okay, we got it. Live chat. Okay. It's 1 minute and 7 seconds on Dreamy Dreamland. It's 2 minutes and 33 seconds here on Alibaba. Oh. So what are we going to talk about tonight? Let's, I've been watching stuff on this. Okay. Let's see. Going live tonight's show on Dreamy Dreamland, 7:30 p.m. sharp. Okay. Ba, ba, ba. Boo, boo. Ba-da-ba-da. Oh, 259. Anybody out there?
That's how much energy is. So this is Brad Sorensen coming back to me. 8 years after school, and we're talking, and he's telling me all these interesting stories. And so there was an air show that was coming up out at Norton Air Force Base, which used to be an active Air Force base right on the eastern fringe of San Bernardino in Southern California. Explosive bolts holding it in place. It was flush with the tiles on the belly of the vehicle. And up inside this tube was this cone-shaped reentry vehicle pointing nose down, possibly having a kind of a sabot or a three-piece spacer in there that would hold it centered in the tube. And then directly above that and behind it was another circular tile, and then behind that was a big coiled spring. And what they would do is they would fire off the explosives. The spring would push this reentry vehicle out of the tube. The sabot would fly away in pieces. The thing would stabilize in the airstream. If you ever want to see this, take a piece of paper and curl it up into a little cone, put a little, like a fishing weight in the nose, and toss it. Through inductance is the electrical term. They induce a much higher voltage of electricity on these many, many windings that are on that central column. It's like a transformer. You get step up or step down, which means you can go from, say, a low voltage with a very high amperage or amount of electricity flowing through the wires. And you can change that to a very high voltage with low amperage or a low amount of actual voltage. But the potential, the punch behind it, the voltage is much, much higher. And that's what this system does, is it takes electricity, according to Brad, 2 large 24-volt marine-style batteries, these deep
This is what a flying saucer is,
charge
kids.
type marine batteries that they use on these big boats in the military and stuff. You basically use that to somehow put an alternating current through these windings. You step up that electricity through the secondary coils on the column in the middle. You get this extremely high voltage. You can selectively put the voltage on any of these.
You use that phrase when there's a certain segment of the population that believes it's a real dig-off.
Well, Shepard, it's not meant to be. The point is that we've got to move beyond race. It is a good time to remember we're all in his image, and what unites us is greater than what divides us. We shouldn't be divided.
Propaganda use, government. Propaganda against the citizens. But if you did believe everything that our mainstream media is saying, you would have to agree we live in a dystopic Orwellian ball of crazy. While you have hordes of smartphone zombies just stumbling around in people's yards,
not only standing outside my house, but looking at my house through their phones.
In the CIA-linked game Pokemon Go, literally walking off of cliffs.
Over the edge of a bluff off of East Street. The guys fell between 50 and 80 feet down Wednesday afternoon. The San Diego Sheriff's Department says it happened because they were searching for virtual Pokemon. That's right. The guys told deputies they were playing the Pokemon Go game on their cell phones.
This is our 15-year-old daughter, Autumn Dysenroth, recovering from injuries after she was hit by a car. The teenager says Pokemon Go took her across a busy intersection.
Wandering into dangerous power stations in some augmented reality. The stuff that's actually happening in supposed reality seems augmented. You have so many police shooting videos being released on a near daily basis that no one can even keep up with what in the hell is going on in this country anymore. While the media continues to spin this as if it's only an African American problem.
Hey, there's one person there. Can you chat? Can you see the chat? If you can, chat me. I can chat. If you can't, make a comment. I can't chat or anything else. I'm just going to run some things I'm going to talk about tonight.
Instead of against the establishment and the elite, who are clearly sucking all of the wealth out of this country.
The bottom 40% of Americans barely have any of the wealth. I mean, it's hard to even see them on the chart.
And they're trying to avoid a class war by pushing a race war.
But the top 1% has more of the country's wealth than 9 out of 10 Americans believe the entire top 20% should have.
The majority of the nation's livelihoods are being sucked right out from under them, just like that giant sucking sound Ross Perot warned us about.
There will be a giant sucking sound going south.
Times about $1 billion.
I said, well, how does it stop being disruptive? And that is when their jobs come up to $1 an hour to $6 an hour, and ours go down to $6 an hour, then it's leveled again. But in the meantime, you've wrecked the country with these kinds of deals.
Cops aren't just shooting people, they're also shooting pets at the wrong house, at a 5-year-old's birthday party in front of his friends.
Police chief said the shooting was justified, that the dog attacked the officer coming around the house. This video taken after the shooting shows the dog dead by the gate, not near the house. The police chief said he hadn't seen the video. And as for that warrant, well, it's for a case 10 years ago. When the first shot didn't kill Opie, the officer used a high-powered rifle to put him down. Eli Malone says he can't forget watching the officer shoot his dog.
It's actually to the point that other
Wait till he
countries
shoots
like
his
the
mother,
Emirates and the Bahamas
Grandma.
are issuing official travel warnings to their citizens because America is a dangerous police state and the world is aware of it. When Case Western Reserve University recently agreed to house 1,900 officers for security at the RNC, the campus essentially had to close down for the week because the students felt unsafe. They felt unsafe at a location that had 1,900 officers housed at it. That should be like the safest place in America, really, if you think about it, superficial terms, and they felt unsafe. And just to go ahead and prove all those people.
Oh, and you can see me, and you can hear me, and you can text. Okay, so everything's kind of working. I'm doing what's this one?
Wow, was I wrong?
You're wrong. You do have something to worry about because police even shot an innocent man lying on the ground with his hands in the air after he told them he was a behavioral therapist and his autistic client holding a toy truck had wandered away from their group home and was unarmed.
A 911 caller Monday reported that someone with a gun was threatening suicide, and when police arrived, guns drawn, the therapist talking to the officers.
After yelling all of this information at the police, and after it was clearly obvious that the autistic guy was holding not a gun but a white toy truck, police claim they shot the unarmed behavioral therapist by accident because they actually meant to shoot the unarmed autistic guy.
The union chief says the officer who fired his gun thought Kinsey was in danger and meant to hit the young man with autism,
who apparently, for some reason, they thought posed a danger to his unarmed behavioral therapist with his hands in the air.
Sir, why did you shoot me? And his words to me, he said, I don't know.
The moral of the story is, if you run away from police, you're probably going to get shot. If you stay and comply because you're innocent and you did nothing wrong, you might also get shot. While a man who was kept at Guantanamo Bay for 14 years without ever having been charged for a crime that whole time is finally scheduled to be released after his former Guantanamo Bay guard, wrote a letter saying you should release him. I was the guard. The Western Intelligence Agency created and backed Free Syrian Army videotaped themselves beheading a 12-year-old Palestinian boy.
Who's going to vet these people?
Well, first of all, I vetted a number of them because I know them.
And it took several days for our government to come out and go, maybe we should stop sending them giant bags of money and guns. That might be bad to do. There's a war on terror that funds and creates terrorists at one end and fights them on the other continues. Innocent Americans continue to miss their flights so they can be treated like terrorist criminals by the TSA at the airport. And it came out earlier this week that half of all agents of the TSA have been cited for misconduct at least once. Half.
Okay, so I'm going to tell you a good story right here that falls right into this. In 2005, I was hired to take some business people to Ireland because they heard my stories of Ireland and they wanted to go there and buy real estate because Ireland's an upcoming place and I knew it well and I knew people and I could drive. They felt a little scared to drive on the opposite side of the road. So I said, fine, can I bring a friend? Oh, yeah, you can bring a friend. So my friend, my sweetie of the time, she and I, and these people were from Asheville, North Carolina. And we flew from Asheville to Greensboro to Charlotte, from Charlotte to Atlanta to Boston, from Boston to Ireland. Now, when they were getting their tickets together, I said, hey, why don't you, there's a nonstop from Atlanta to Ireland, and we could fly from Asheville to Atlanta and then bingo bango. Anyway, so this lady, she did all the arrangements, and to save, I think, $10 a ticket, we had to go bing, da bing, da bing, da bing, da bing, right? So we're at the airport, we're checking in, and they got a ton of bags. I have only one bag. My girlfriend, she has a ton of bags. Anyway, so they, I say, if you, go, there's this little thing that if you're going internationally, they had to put your bags on from next to next to next. And the guy behind the ticket said, I don't know how to do that. And so the lady and her crew and my sweetie wanted to go get a drink at the bar. And so they just wanted to drop their bags and get their gate pass. And so, that's fine. So they did that. I waited around and I said to the guy, there was nobody behind me. I said, okay, where's your supervisor? And so the supervisor came and he didn't kind of understand it either. I said, so where's your supervisor? And that guy was the head FAA guy. And he showed up and he said, oh, yeah, you can do that. And he got on the computer, put in all the right codes, took my thing, da-da-da-da. And my bags, only one, was 1-to-1-to-1-to-1, right? So once I got on the airplane at Eshel and we went to all these other different places, I didn't have to go out of security and then come back. I could just go to the next gate. Whereas those morons, every place we went to, they had to leave, go to the, baggage circle, get their bags, go to the back through security, check back in, get a boarding pass. They had to do it 5 times, not me. And they got more and more pissed off. And so each one of those things, they had enough time, but it was still, had to get the bags, had to, carry them, go to the, counter, get the gate, go to the gate. Anyway, so each airport we went, I would just go get a little nosh or a cocktail or sit at the gate and just, be reading a book and be comfortable. And they were really, even my sweetie was getting like irritated because she was bonding with the girls. Anyway, so we get to Boston and there isn't a big enough, instead of like having an hour and a half to go get the shit and bring it there, they had 20 minutes. So I said, I'm going to come and help you. Right. So, but they all went down to the carousel and I was, really big at that time. I was like, 380 pounds. I was pushing towards 400. And I said to the woman, I said, listen, I'm disabled. I need to go to that thing. And I had all of the slip of their bags. I said, I need these bags collected and brought down to the carousel on one of your golf carts. And I want you to take me down there and wait with me and then get the golf cart and take us back to International and get us on the next plane. The guy said, sure, not a problem. That's what I do. So he gets on the phone. He gives them all the numbers. He takes me on his little golf cart, go in the elevator thing. We go out to the back. And by this time, all the bags have come. And there are people there. And there was a problem. And then because there, and we got like port and get in the international thing. Anyway, so the guy shows up with me, and I'm in a golf cart. This other golf cart shows up with all of their bags. And the guy says, get in that one. I'll take you straight to where you got to go. So he does. So we drive up there, and it is the gate that the 9/11 guys who allegedly took control, out of the Otta boys, went through this gate this security that we're going through, right? So the guy lets us off and brings a bag and, kind of puts us in the front. There's like 5, guys looking at the bags. And he takes us to the one that's like the VIP. So there's instead of the line going around the building, there's only about 4 or 5 people in front of us. So he stays there with a cart, and I go, I got to get up and walk around a little bit. So I'm walking around, and I go to the other side, and there are these medical little blinders, like material little things, and you can see between the slats that there are 2 teenage girls in there, in their underpants, and this big fat TSA guy is doing cavity search. A male, and about half of the TSA guys are like, looking through the slats of this woman is freaking out because she can see what's happening to her daughters, and she is like, what are you doing? Blah, blah, blah. And the one of the head TSA guys, madam, please come down. You know, if you get any more, I'll have to tase you. You know, and she's, and then she got, you know, and he sees, you know, this guy sticking his hand up her cavity, and she's, anyway, I turn around, it's like I can't watch it, and I hear, you know, this is the lady, and she's on the ground like, and there's this one TSA guy, like, he's not watching the big fat guy do the cavity search of the teenage girls. He's not watching, because there are a bunch of guys watching this guy, you know, to the poor mother of the, right? And it's horrifying, the 200 or 300 people who are waiting in line to get their bags searched. And so I kind of walk over to this one TSA guy who's leaning against the wall, and he's obviously kind of shaken. I said, so how come you're not over there having a good time? Because I can't take this. I have 2 daughters myself. This is really ridiculous. This is not right. This is America. Yeah, right. This is America. And he goes, I don't know what to do. I don't. I go, what do you mean? He says, well, I was a, you know, air traffic controller, and, you know, Reagan knocked me out. And then I was a truck driver. You know, I went from having a $120,000 job to having a $40,000 job. And I have one daughter who's in college and others in high school, and she has epilepsy. And I got this job, and I'm getting twice what I was making as a truck driver, and I don't, you know, I can go home and see my kids and my wife, and it has full health insurance for everybody and a retirement. And the truck driver, I didn't. And I you know, I can't lose this job, so I can't make any waves. And I go, that's really tough, buddy, you know. And then he looks at me and goes, so. He goes, so do you want to get on? He says, let me see your ticket. He goes, you want to get on your plane? I said, sure. Don't have to go through that. He goes, well, you don't have any bags to show. You just got that little carry-on. So he looks in my bag. He takes a little magic marker. He does it. He goes, get on this escalator, go up to the top, give that guy up there. Do you have a Benjamin? Do you have a $100 bill? I said, yeah, I got a bunch of them. He goes, so go up there, give him one of those. And he will give you a little stub, and you will be able to go into the bar and get 4 little bottles of booze and a little plate of yummies, and a plastic cup with ice cubes, and you can go wait by your gate. And I said, okay. So, you know, I thank him, get on the escalator, go up, and before I get on, I said, so what if I was a terrorist? I could basically come here with a gun and go up this escalator, give that guy a $100 bill, get 3 things of vodka, and you know, go hijack a plane. And he goes, "Yep, you could do that." Mm-hmm. And I said, "So you're gonna stick with this job?" He goes, "I gotta." And that was 2005. So went up the escalator, gave the guy that, went and got my 3 little bottles of booze, my cup of ice, and a little plate of nashi things. And I went over to my gate, checked in, you know. The lady said, "Well, you know, you got, you know, before we start boarding, you got 10 minutes to eat your little goodies." I said, "Can I take these?" "Yeah, you know, you got them from the TSA guy." I said, "Yeah." "Oh, yeah, you can get on the plane with your bottles." I said, "What if I had a drink from that bar?" "Oh, you couldn't do that." That's what makes America great, gang. Anyway, so it seems like everything's working. Fish, are you still there? Can you hear me? So it's 24 minutes and 52 seconds. And things aren't what they seem to be. And, you know, last night, nobody was there. I don't know why. Seems like everything's working. It says it's live chat. Fish has said something. Oh, not much, boy. That story wasn't interesting enough. But so another 5 minutes I'll sign off. Let's see what else can we find on my little device here. Ba-ba-da-ba-ba.
Would you describe yourself as a conspiracy theorist?
Well, I look at what officialdom tells us is happening and check it out. And if you can back that up with information, it's not a theory. And there are situations where you think, I think this could be this, what could be that could be happening, that's a theory. But much of it is backed up by hard factual information. And interestingly, when you look at the dictionary definition of the very word conspiracy, we're drowning in them. One is the action of plotting or conspiring. I mean, that's happening all the time.
Give me an example of a conspiracy.
Well, ironically, we've had George Osborne this week trying to ridicule conspiracies involving the EU by likening them to believing in the Loch Ness Monster. And in the same week, we've had the Daily Mail exposing the Prime Minister for conspiring, in effect, with big business to frighten the public into staying in the EU, while publicly to Parliament as well, saying that he would come out if the negotiations didn't work. That's a conspiracy.
Is that a conspiracy, or is it just politicians doing the time-honored thing of being less than honest with us?
Well, if you're telling the public that you will have the option of coming out if you do not renegotiate with the EU the way you want, and you don't do that, and at the same time you're telling the public and Parliament that, you are working with big business behind the scenes already to frighten the public into staying in, even though your renegotiation's not finished. That is a conspiracy to mislead the public.
What other conspiracy should we worry about?
Well, what we're looking at all the time are conspiracy after conspiracy coming to light, while the idea of conspiracy and the very word conspiracy is demonized. For instance, we have a situation with this Chilcot inquiry where we're going to see, indeed the information has already come out, that the Prime Minister of the time, Tony Blair and George Bush and the administrations, lied to us to justify an invasion of Iraq. And that is a conspiracy that has cost the lives of staggering numbers of people and created an ongoing catastrophe that's still going on. And let's not forget this. The very same people, not just the same agencies, the same people that told us there were weapons of mass destruction in Iraq when they knew they weren't, those very same people gave us the official story of 9/11. And what the mainstream media is doing...
Was 9/11 conspiracy?
Of course it was.
Who was behind it?
Well, what was behind it was...
No, who was behind it?
Well, again, in the time we've got here, it's very difficult. But there is a network that works through government agencies, through organizations like the CIA, etc., to push an agenda on the world, which is unfolding by the day. My books in the 1990s laid out what this agenda was, and those books are now being read on the television news in changes in society and laws coming in.
Okay.
And the thing is, this is the point. The mainstream media has accepted that those same characters lied about Iraq, but will not question in any way the same people's version of 9/11. They're journalists, it's their job.
But do you still think the royal family were shape-shifting lizards?
Yes, I do.
You do?
Yes.
And you also want us to believe 9/11 is a conspiracy?
Yes, but the
Doesn't
point.
that rather undermine? I mean,
Well, no, it
I can
doesn't.
see the point that you might have some question 9/11. That if you also think that Buckingham Palace is inhabited by lizards, it kind of
But
undermines.
it's not that. It's not that simple. There's a whole big backstory before you get to what I'm saying. If you deliver it in one line, oh, you know, the world's run by reptiles, you meet it on one level. Oh, that's crazy. Immediate reflex action. But when you see the backstory and the evidence to support this, ancient and modern, you see that one line, throwaway line, in a completely different context.
All right, let me bring in that. Have you ever believed in a conspiracy theory, Liz?
No, I haven't, but I think David Aronovich is really interesting on this because he says that sort of paradoxically we keep
Look at this guy here.
obsessing about
He's so
conspiracies
smug.
because somehow it's actually reassuring.
And the girl there, she's just taking the envelope.
Great network of some purpose when in fact the world is chaotic and random and terrible things happen.
And Iraq was just a horrible foreign policy mistake.
And we can't get our heads around it.
You see, as a journalist, I would love to believe in conspiracy theorists because they're much better stories. But almost everything I've ever investigated.
I mean, look how fat he is. He's definitely taking the envelope.
Yes, I know people put a lot of work into conspiracy theories, but I still think they're actually intellectually lazy.
Just because he says it, he's smart.
Just don't want to get their head around the way things really work. That having been said, I mean, let me say firstly that a lot of people are gullible about conspiracies.
None of these people have read any of David Icke's work.
Pedophile ring, as it turns out. And on the other hand, I'll just end my going with this point. There clearly was a conspiracy over Hillsborough, and over 28 years or whatever it was, people denied there was a conspiracy, but there was.
My last book, before the present one, is 1,000 pages. Have you read any of my books?
No.
How do you know that it's intellectually lazy?
I wasn't talking about you.
No.
I
You
think
weren't
that-
talking about me because that's what I do. How do you know?
No, I meant members of the public who immediately latch on to a conspiracy as being the most reasonable explanation of a perfectly simple situation. I think are intellectually lazy.
How do we know you're not a conspiracy to make us all believe in conspiracies?
People must believe what they like. See, this is the simple thing. It's ever so simple. You look at information and you make a decision on what you think of it. But if no one is investigating what governments and authorities are saying with a view to whether it's true or not, then what chance have people got to see information that they can then make a decision on? All they're getting is the mainstream repeat version of everything.
Well, I mean, in my career, everything I know has been investigated.
Yeah.
Just very briefly, what are you up to these days?
When you have ancient cultures all over the world who are describing non-human entities in the unseen, which is almost what isn't unseen to the humans in the way that I've just described, many taking a reptilian form. And that has passed through the ages. And then you meet people in places like America, because once you start talking about this, you become someone that people will give information to because they can see a way of getting out to the public arena, because you won't think they're crazy. And they're telling you the same. You know, people who've been in mind control projects, people who've been in government projects, who've interacted with these entities in underground bases. And they're describing what the ancients described. When you've got this man who unfortunately just died in his 90s, William Tompkins, writing a book in 2015, describing how he was seconded in 1940. When I was in Sweden, people were getting microchipped in Sweden. They're having parties to celebrate. Oh, Bill's getting microchipped. Let's have a party. Yeah, okay. Yeah, it's very sensible. You know, let's celebrate the fact you're giving your mind away. Yeah, what a great thing to celebrate. US Navy discussed plans to fit humans with microchips and track their every move. I said in a book called "I'm the Truth to Set You Free" in the 1990s, I wrote it in 1994, that they would sell the microchip to parents by saying you'll never lose your child again if you get them microchipped. And they would say that we'll use the microchip to microchip people with mental health problems and people with Alzheimer's so you never lose them again. That's exactly what they're doing in America now, using those same excuses to justify microchipping children and old people. The House passes bill allowing government to microchip citizens with mental disabilities. There we go. They are putting chips in to drugs so that the doctor knows if you're taking them or not. And this is a process I've been writing about for years, where the plan is that the public is drugged by law. And if you don't take your drugs, they know. And they now have the technology to do that. Test patients' urine to make sure they're taking their medication, says new study. That's another aspect to it. So this is what it really means. The cool, brave world of implantables. This is what it really means, the end of humanity. At the end of this road, I started out with my iPad, then Google Glass and my Apple Watch.
You use that phrase.
The San Diego Sheriff's Department says it happened because they were searching for virtual Pokemon. That's right.
If you think about it, superficial terms, and they felt unsafe. And just to go ahead and prove it's terrorists at one end and fights them on the other continues. Innocent Americans continue to miss their flights, so they can be treated like terrorist criminals by the TSA at the airport. And it came out earlier this week that half of all agents of the TSA have been cited for misconduct at least once. Half. And a third have been
That was what it was like in Boston.
multiple times for misconduct.
Are you fucking kidding me, TSA? What the fuck?
Now, on the doublespeak side of things, you actually had Chef Smith of Fox News live on air criticizing Governor Bobby Jindal multiple times for using the divisive phrase, all lives matter, because Jindal dared to say we've got to look beyond race because all lives matter.
Brown, red, it doesn't matter. All lives matter. We've got to protect and value our police.
Governor, you know that phrase you just used is one that's seen by many as derogatory, right? And I just wonder.
I mean, take a look at what we've got just here today in the mainstream propaganda mill. You had Time declaring that it looks like the U.S. and its allies have a new axis of evil in the Middle East. Syria, Iran, and Russia.
We need to make the Iranians pay a price in Syria. We need to make the Russians pay a price.
This pairs really nicely with all the headlines everywhere about how Russia is daring to use an Iranian military base to take off in its fight towards ISIS for the first time, even though A, Russia not only informed the U.S.-led coalition it would be taking off from an Iranian military base, but B, the U.S.-led coalition is who cleared the airspace for Russia to do so. See how that works? Then it comes over here, it gets into all
Okay.
headlines, and they turn it into, oh my gosh, how did they do that? It's
Okay. Well, I told you that little story about TSA, right? And I play that stuff because it's, if all you got to do is look on YouTube, and there's a lot of good information. And on the other side, there's total, pudding heads too. And the real deal is what you think of it, how you're doing with it. What's your reality? And that's what we're going to do tonight. Tonight, we're going to do a guided meditation about your reality. We're going to go into state and then go deep into what you've been exposed to by the hidden hand, and going to go into your Akashic record, open up the book and see your past lives, see your karmic wheel, see your dharmic exposure. And from tonight on, you will have the tools to navigate your spirit, your soul, and your life, where you can pick to be awake, right? So, boo, boo, boo. Hey there, Aiden. Let's see, David Icke. A legend, yep. Yep. He taught me not to fall in line because of social pressure. Right. I mean, that guy, I just showed you that little, he's being interviewed by 3 people who want to say, you're nuts. This sucks. I am a smart guy. I know better than you. Did you ever read any of my books? No. The girl who's definitely doesn't know anything, and she's put there to be the stupid broad, right? That's the part she's playing. She could be a rocket scientist for all I know, right? All lives matter. Yeah, cops can't say that. And, I was showing you the statistics that the police actually shoot and murder more white people than black people because there are more white people in this country, right? So it's... So what do you guys think of all of the stuff I just played? I just kind of, and I like being able to show you things on YouTube, other guys do it. Why can't I? Now that I have 2 channels, I can't use my phone to do a live chat. I have to do it off of my laptop, So anyway, hey, you guys want a more succinct, just Al Bob? Get 1,000 people to subscribe. Then you won't have to watch me use my cell phone to put things on the show. So, but tonight's going to be, 100% me and you, right? Because I've just showed you a bunch of stuff. So I don't need to show you anymore. So we're rounding the bed towards 4 p.m. We got 41 minutes and 41 seconds. And so I will, at 1 hour, I will kind of, you know what? I'm going to actually take this outside. And show you what a beautiful day it is. Ba, 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 ba. Ba, ba. Do, do, do. Hey guys, here's the gang. Hey there, sweetie. This is Daisy. Come here, Daisy. Come here. Yes, come on. Come on. Yes. She's a sweet little girl. Little dogs. Little. Like scorpions bite you because they're scared they're going to get stepped on. Yes, but you're a good girl. She's gotten to get used to me. She's barking at me all the time because I was a big guy. Maybe girl. Yeah. She thanks love. Big puppy. She's gonna be a big dog. Already twice her size. Come on, stay here. So anyway, here it is. A beautiful hill. Right. There's a beautiful hill. And this forest is dying. 70 years ago, this whole hill was a apple orchard. And these are mostly poplar. And poplar are kind of, they're like weeds. They grow up real fast. And then we also have these big elephant leaf trees that are really like weeds. They really grow up fast. But they are not really set for this neck of the woods. So, and our weather has changed a great deal. It's no longer what it used to be when I first got here 20 years ago. And so right now it's almost 86 degrees, right? And down below, just 300 feet below where I'm sitting down the hill, the trees are budding. Up here, they're not budding, right? And down in the valley, they've already flowered out and got green leaves coming on them. And because of this very strangeness of time and space, all of these trees are dead. Now, people, but they got leaves on them. Yeah, but if you go look at the roots, you can see that the phylum and flora are messed up. All the connective tissue of the roots are messed, right? And we had an ice storm here, and it all the trees came. I mean, it wasn't even that much ice. It wasn't like inches of ice. It was a little bit of ice, not even big wind, and it knocked down probably 10% of the forest all through here. Now it's all over the. I would walk up there and show it to you, but it's hard for me to walk, and it's really hard for me to walk and carry this laptop. And if there is a lightning storm and it hits around here, starts a tree on fire, this whole valley is going to go up. It happened before. Again, maybe 15 years ago. But what happened was a fire that way over on a couple of mountains that away, and it started it, and the fire guys didn't get on it right away, so it kind of came down, went through it, and went over another hill and went into this maybe 100-acre square pile of tires that caught fire and started really burning hot, and that it burned a good chunk of 3 counties because of that. And that was that was a what do you call those, toxic waste site, and it was polluting the water table over there, and the fires got not to this ridge but to the ridge that's on top of it. So I was over at this house sitting on her porch, and we could see the flames line up, and luckily the wind was going south. If the wind had been going north, coming towards us, it would have taken that fire down and just swept across here. So that happened 12, 15 years ago. Similar things, certain trees, the poplars, were just really sprouting and knocking out what was left of the oaks and the pines and the maples. And they had fallen down due to a ice storm. And people look at a tree, it's got leaves on it, doesn't mean it's alive. What makes a tree really alive was what's in the roots and what's in the core. So, and that's a metaphor for our civilization. Just because we're running around buying things on Amazon doesn't mean our society is alive. It just means no one's looking at the roots or the center core of our society. And we are very similar in the same situation that Rome was when it fell. And they were pushing all their resources out because they were expanding the empire, all their military, all of their, they had cut. They used to have this gold doubloon. That was their Roman coin. And as they spent more and more on defense, they kept slicing off little bits of the gold and then, smushing the coin out until they hardly had any gold left. So they had nothing to back their economy except their big army. That they were a bully. And most of their centurions weren't Roman anymore. They no longer had that kind of Roman will. They were all, hired guys. What do you call those guys? Starts with an M. Just kind of like Blackwater, right? Anyway, and those guys are. I had a friend of mine, Frank. He had a bar in New York City in the 70s and 80s, and it was called Puppies, and it was a workers' bar, and he bought the building back in the 70s when there was a real estate crash, kind of in an alley, and mercenaries, right? So Frank wanted to be a merc, and and this bar had been a workers' restaurant on the ground floor, and a guy lived speakeasy. And Frank, same thing. He lived upstairs, and the bar was his bar, Puppies, and no more food. Once in a while, we're running Stone Soup. That was our dumpster restaurant down there. And in the basement was his. I turned it into a nightclub for him for mercs. was doing the housing authority in the abandoned buildings. Some of those guys, there was a Merck building, and I remember one time one of their friends in the jungle, along the B-52 would fly over and carpet bomb with it. He had PTSD beyond belief, and he had stories. Woo-wee. So anyway, my friend Frank said, I have this friend coming back, and see, the thing is, the Vietnam War did not end until late 70s, not 75. It kept going on because the thing in Cambodia, Pol Pot, and thing in Thailand, and the Golden Triangle with the opium, that was what the war was about. So they were still fighting over that stuff. So, and Ho Chi Minh was our guy. He was, he went to NYU to be, he wanted to be the George Washington Vietnam, carried the French out. And after the war, when we were just about to invade Japan, we had just all those islands full of tanks and guns and everything. And we basically handed them over to the Mideast, the Koreans, the Chinese, Vietnam, Cambodia, Thailand, and we went from one war to the next war, right? Korean War, Vietnam War, the Cold War. They were all the same war, making Boeing and Lockheed a lot of money, while they were skimming off the top to pay for, the secret space program that the Nazis, we brought in 70 freaking thousand Nazis. The CIA was 100% Nazi because Dorndorf had told the bros, hey, listen, we've been fighting Russia. I mean, they should be your enemy. And we should have fought them together. But no, now let us, we have this whole, intelligence apparatus in Russia. We'll just turn it over to you, and you can call it the CIA and the NSA and the ONI and every other. There's about 18 alphabet things of intelligence. Anyway, and they're all Nazis. And the whole Cold War, meaning the story of the Cold War, no one's watching, so no one cares. So tonight, right? Tonight, maybe. No, I'm going to sign off now because there's nobody here. But it looks like the good old live chat, everything seems to be working. Okay, so tonight, 7:30 sharp, right? It's about moving on towards 4 o'clock. What time is it? It is 4:01. So at 4:04, I will say, arrivederci, baby, right? Anyway, nothing is what it seems. And tonight, I'm going to show you how to remote view whatever you want to look at, so you can see it, what's really going on. Right? How many? I only got one thumb up from you guys. Well, I hope you're going and looking at my other shows. I hope, comment. Come on, comment. Come on. Let's get 1,000 subscriptions, right? Because if I go into the deep green, if I have to take this little laptop to wherever, you're not going to see too many new ones. So you better get used to going looking at the old shows. I got more than 600. That's a lot of shows that you guys probably haven't seen. Boo, 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 boo. Let's see. A couple more minutes. Well, a beautiful day, Beautiful day. So I'm gonna go in